Becoming Magic by Genevieve Davis. So I realized that the power came from within me. It was as if the light had suddenly been switched on. Let me explain. Think of a cartoon or a child's film. An unsuspecting person picks up a magic wand stolen from a wizard, waves it, and says, "Abracadabra." Some magic occurs. A man turns into a frog, or a chest of treasure appears. This is how I had been attempting to use magic. This is also exactly how most people attempt to use the law of attraction, as if it were something separate from them, something to be utilized, tapped into, picked up, and put down. Thus, they conscientiously follow the instructions of others while failing to realize the importance of themselves as an active constituent in the process. The world does not respond to the waving of the wand, but to the person doing the waving. Some people do use magic words, and some use paraphernalia such as wands, some use affirmations and vision boards with great success. But the magic itself always comes from the person doing the spell. Two people could say the same words, follow the same instructions, wave the same wand, and get completely different results. Magic is not making things appear out of thin air. It is a feeling, a sparkling aliveness. It is that energy of feeling you're capable of anything, in the flow, in the zone, on top of the world, dancing with life. In this dance, sometimes you lead and life swirls around you. At other times, life takes the lead, but always you move with each other and respond to each other. In this book and its counterpart, Doing Magic, I don't create a fantasy vision of a future world which bears no relation to your own experience of life. I am not one who had instant and profoundly amazing success right off the bat. You should trust me because I didn't get it right first time. I didn't get it right second, third, fourth, fifth, or sixth time either. I am telling you now that I made a long, slow discovery of the rules of magic. While I ask you to believe that magic exists, I don't recommend you shout this belief from the rooftops, at least in the beginning. May I suggest that you don't tell people what you are doing? I'm not saying you necessarily need to be as furtive as I have been, but you should be aware that most people are very threatened by things they don't understand. These days, I don't bother defending myself or my views. I don't care if someone thinks this is all baloney. Those who seek to argue, prove me wrong, and dismiss my views are less than irrelevant to me. They are to be pitied. They will never know the joy, the power of what I can do, what you are about to do. Do you want to know the truth? I don't know. That is precisely why I call it magic. If you think that using magic is an indication of a selfish and materialistic world, you're completely wrong. Do you know just how much good you can do when you have more money, more time, and freedom than you know what to do with? I give a large portion of my income away every month. I do 100% more good as a rich person than I ever did as a poor person. The steps to achieving anything: one, ask; two, receive. Yes, that's it. The main thrust of this little book is to prepare you for the process of asking and receiving so that it works. If there is one secret, one trick, one underlying principle that I want to get across to you, it is this: if you don't get the receiving part right, your asking is going to achieve precisely nothing. But here's the kicker: successfully manifesting is less about asking for things, less about doing magic, and almost entirely about receiving. In other words, becoming, allowing, and being magic. Have you ever found that the very thing you have been trying desperately to manifest for months, years even, miraculously appears just when you had stopped even thinking about it, perhaps forgotten all about it, perhaps even once you had stopped wanting it? This is not misfortune, and this is not coincidence. This happens because until that point, you had actually kept the goal just out of reach by your constant attention to it. By applying thoughts become things, you prevented that goal from manifesting. It was only when you dropped your attention that it was able to come to you. But why does this happen? It's because for almost all of us, when you think of something you really want it. And here's something you need to burn into your brain: want is another word for lack. Thoughts of wanting only attracts more wanting and more lack. By continually thinking about your goal, you're continually wanting, continually asking. This will act to freeze things, keeping you a constant state of waiting, wanting, anticipation, and lack. Wanting equals acting, asking equals lack. Remember, there are two parts to the magical process, asking and receiving. When the disparity between our thoughts and the rest of our life is great, the action of thinking about a goal only serves to bring more sharply into focus just how much we want and lack that goal. So, for most people, keeping their goal constantly in mind just keeps them stuck in the asking stage. This stops them ever being able to progress to the receiving stage, and so they never receive what they're asking for. If you do not stop asking for your desire, you'll never receive it. A person attracts money not just because they one day decide to think about $1 million, but because the type of person they are means they tend to think rich thoughts naturally. On the other hand, a person who has nothing cannot usually imagine having money without simultaneously comparing it to how poor they really feel. I've met 2 or 3 people in my life who are immediately able to manifest a completely new life just by focusing clearly on the subject of their desire. I have a few theories about why some people are able to do this. Largely, I believe it is down to a sort of healthy naivete and a calm, uncluttered mind. If you have worked a piece of magic, but have not worked sufficiently on you, on turning yourself into the person that can handle the manifestation, a person that fits that goal, then you will lose it. That is why some lottery winners often lose all their money a couple of years after the initial win. It's because they don't have the rest of the life to match it. They don't have a millionaire mindset, a millionaire way of doing things, and their non-millionaire friends become greedy and resentful. So the snapback occurs. Life reflects the person, not the desire, and the money is lost. So to recap this important point, if you manifest a huge sum of money, but on a background of feeling unworthy, acting poor, dressing, acting, believing, thinking like a poor person, you will lose all your money. If you are not ready, you will lose it every time. If you ever want to be really proficient in creating the life you desire, you must lay the preparation and become magic before you do magic. Magic is something you are. Become magic and your life will change in the most amazing ways. This is one fact that you need to burn into your brain. I cannot do this for you. Much of learning how to do magic is about discovering, feeling, noticing, noting, realizing, sensing, coming to know, and very little about being told. The answer to almost all of your questions will come not from being told a new piece of information, but from an experience of your own, a realization you have, seeing the truth of something, watching something work in your own life. It is complaining that keeps you in a state of wanting. You can faithfully follow the steps of a manifestation procedure, but if you're walking around in a terrible mood, complaining about everything on earth, bemoaning your lot in life, angry and jealous about why life doesn't turn out the way you wanted, nothing will ever turn out well for you. If you want to change the world, then go and change it. Do something, act, or better still, become magically powerful and realize just how much good you can do from this new place. Practice gratitude. Every morning, take one page, put the date at the top, and write down 3 things for which you are grateful in that moment. In the evening before bed, write down another 3. A person who notices a lot of good in their life has a lot of good in their life. A person who is grateful a lot has a lot to be grateful for. It works that way around. Look at the world and smile, and it will smile back at you. Rather than mere thoughts, it is your deeply held beliefs which have the greatest effect on your life. Your beliefs will inform your thoughts, produce feelings and actions based on those beliefs. So it is essential that you begin to believe in your own magical power. You need to believe in your own power, really believe it, not just wishfully think it. Pick a day to make your declaration and then commit to the following vital preparations. 1, take responsibility for your life. 2, stop complaining, moaning, or criticizing. 3, keep a gratitude journal. Do this for at least 2 weeks until you begin to notice the effect this is having on your outlook, your mood, and your life circumstances. If you prefer, you can keep this up for 30 to 60 days, by which time it will have become a habit that has transformed your life in incredible ways. When to move on to book 2, Doing Magic. I strongly suggest that you move on to book 2 when the following conditions have been met. 1, complaining and being negative has begun to feel uncomfortable. 2, you have an underlying feeling of things having picked up, or that you feel optimistic and excited about the future. 3, you have actually begun to notice that your life has started to reflect your new positive outlook. 4, you're beginning to get an inkling of your own power and ability. If you're feeling impatient, do not quite agree with what I've said about negativity, or really not sure if you've noticed anything at all, go back. You are not ready.